Hey guys, welcome back. This is Ryan with Glass Cabinet Films, and I just wanted to make another Heroclix video talking about some of the latest figure releases that they've released online, and quickly talk a little bit about the watch list that they posted just recently. And as you see here, Nick Fury comes out not August 5th, it's going to be pushed back another week, but it's coming out. Taking pre-orders for that if you guys are interested in that. All right, let's get started on these new figures they released. Okay. Valentina. All right, so let's take a look at her dial. And if you look at her dial, you start off with Stealth, Precision Strike, Combat Reflexes 17, 3 damage. Very basic. If you look throughout the rest of the dial, then you start into Run and Shot. Then you have Sidestep, Poisoned, and then you have Combat Reflexes. So this is an up-close, stealthy, try to base a character, and then it gets into a little bit more ranged, and then it goes back into close combat type character. For 85 points, we have Shield, Grounded, Normal Attack, Standard Defense, 5 range, 2 targets. Very middle-of-the-road stats right there. But we have some traits that we need to cover. Opposing characters adjacent to 2 or more friendly characters with the shield keyword cannot use willpower or outwit. Now that's pretty good. I mean, right from the get-go, she's 85 points. She's on a shield team. Most people would say probably not a meta type piece right now, but put her on a good theme team. You have something there. Put her a bunch of like shield agents to swarm your opponent, and they'll be restricted to not use willpower or outwit, which is great. That's really good for a swarm team. Okay, let's see. She can also use Mastermind, but only transfer damage to characters with the Hydra or shield keyword. Also, again, better played with a theme team. She does not have the Hydra keyword, but she does have the shield keyword. When she does, add a traitor token to this card and roll a d6 that cannot be re-rolled. Add 1 for each traitor token. On a result of 8 or higher, replace her, or you may replace her with Madam Hydra on the same click. Okay, so that means you have to at least transfer damage using Mastermind at least 2 times. 1 token would be 1 Mastermind, and a 6 would be 7. 2 tokens, which would be 2 Masterminds, and a 6 would get you 8, and you'd be able to pop her over to Madam Hydra. If you can do that, that's great. Madam Hydra is 100-point characters, and she is a little bit better. She is a little bit better. She has a little bit of cool thing. We'll go into her next, but so that would be great. I mean, for 85 points, if you were to pop that off, it'd be great. That would be a benefit since you only paid 85 points to get her, and you can bring in a 100-point character. However, Mastermind can be thwarted numerous ways. One of the ways, especially since it's a trait, the easiest would be Precision Strike. She has Precision Strike, so I mean, it's becoming a lot more prominent. It's one of the better powers nowadays because it goes through super senses. Mastermind ignores Mastermind, so I love Precision Strike because at least you're gonna get through anything pretty much if you hit. So that's so good, and it can't be reduced below 1. It's really good power. So as you see here, you have to get at least 2 tokens and then roll a 6. So you're probably gonna end up having to Mastermind 3, if not 4 times to be able to switch her over. You may not be on top dial at that point. You may not be. And if that's the case, you might not be that great. However, looking at the rest here, it's a solid piece. However, most of her points are going to be in her traits. That's what I see. All right, let's see what Madam Hydra is. That's a super rare. She looks really cool, actually, if you ask me. Now you look at her. She's Hydra TA. Assassin, Hydra, Shield, Spy keyword, so she bumps up in the keyword category. She goes up to 100 points. She boosts up to 1 more range, so okay, that's good. But she doesn't get willpower there, so everything else is the same. If you look at the stats, you see she does get a bump in the stat category, so I mean, it is a better piece. And there's some really cool traits and special powers here that I want to cover to really showcase this piece. When Madam Hydra takes damage from an attack after the action's resolved, you may choose one character adjacent to the attacker, deal them 1 penetrating damage, and give them an action token. That is really good. That is really good. She starts off with stealth, so if you can see through stealth, then you could probably shoot her. However, if you can't see through stealth, you have to punch her, and then, you could technically you can choose an adjacent character to the attacker, so you could damage yourself. However, I don't believe I see a benefit to that. However, you never know. Even if you don't want to damage yourself, if you're adjacent to the attacker, which is a close combat attack, you could deal that damage to another friendly character adjacent to the attacker, whatever. However, if they're playing, like they're clumping up their army, they shoot you or they punch you, but they have friendly characters adjacent to them, you can make them take penetrating damage and give them an action token. That is really good. That's really good. She's stealthy, combat reflexes. You see a bump up in the attack. She has, she's a little bit more formidable. I do want to cover the second trait here before we move on. Madam Hydra heals 1 damage for each time another friendly character that shares a keyword with her is KO'd. At first I read that like if the character has multiple keywords, you get to heal multiple times. No, that's not it. Okay, so if a friendly character is KO'd, if they share one keyword, at least one keyword, heal her 1 damage. That's solid. That is pretty good. I like it. It's not really the greatest thing. Like, if she gets KO'd first, then it's not going to come into effect. But you get it. But it's not bad. It activates when they die. If they share a keyword, she heals 1. You don't have to roll anything. It could help her if she's taken a couple clicks of damage. And if you're playing a swarm team, like I was telling you earlier, if you have a bunch of friendly characters that share keywords with her, and you just have them, run up on them, and they have to kill them, then she's going to be really hard to kill because she's just going to keep on healing. But if she's top dial, it's not going to do you any good. So you could push her. That's one of those other things that you could think about, is you could push her knowing that could activate to heal her back up. So that's another thing to think about. Let's see here. At first I saw this and I was like, wow, we have lamps again, but it's not really. She can use poison. When she uses poison, she deals penetrating damage to characters with the shield keyword. I would love to see that without just the shield keyword, but we'll take it. We got stealth, we have combat reflexes, and we have poison. We also have penetrating if it's the shield keyword. So with sealed of this set, she'll be pretty good. I think in sealed, you're going to want to play her because she has there's going to be a lot of shield characters in there. So she'll have a lot of people that she can share keywords with. So she'll be able to heal. Also, she's enough points where you can have a good amount of other friendly characters. So her first trait, well, actually the first trait has nothing to do with friendly characters. But anyways, that was the uncommon piece. Anyways, but she still also has a damage power that we want to cover here. She can use Outwit and Shape Change. Opposing characters within range and line of fire that use Outwit or Perplex must be given a power action instead of a free action to use it. Okay? Yeah. She's really good. So she has Outwit, she's got Stealth, she's got Shape Change, Combat Reflexes, Poison, and Stealth for 100 points. Yes, she's not willpower, she doesn't have Indom or anything like that, but whatever. In the age of resources, entities, you can get around that. You can get around her not having willpower. But the opposing characters within range and line of fire, the range and line of fire definitely, that's critical, because if it didn't have that, she'd be really abusive. But if you're within range and line of fire and they try to use Outwit or Perplex, they have to give a power action instead of a free action. That's really good. And you can, because she's in stealth, you can put her out there a little bit because, you know, unless they can see her through stealth or if they can charge on her, you're not going to be too worried about it. But with the combat reflexes, if they try to charge her, she's going to be kind of hard to hit. And she's got shape change to help her out. And she's got the poison. Now, that poison power, however, is only on her first and last click. So you don't really want to take a hit because you're not going to really keep it unless you land exactly on your last click. But you get the idea there. I like her, actually, for 100 points. There's a lot of things going for her that can be really, really useful. And at up close, she is going to be brutal. Brutal, really, really mean. Especially versus any character with a shield keyword. It's not going to be fun to deal with her. So I like her. I like her quite a bit. Her counterpart here, the betrayal part, she's a decent piece. If you're able to pop off the mastermind tokens to be able to bring in Madam Hydra, good. Congrats to you. That's a pretty solid game plan. I don't think it's going to be that great. I don't think this piece is really meta right now. I don't know what you could do to her to make her meta, really. Madam Hydra, though, there's some potential there, I think. You know, there's something there. There's a lot going on there. I think she's a little bit more playable, you know, a little bit more competitive. I like her. All right, let's cover the watch list before we go. Felix Faust powers. Now, I'm going to go this really quickly. I'm not going to go too much into it, and we're going to just cover some of the highlights. All these powers here, all these are required to be within 7 squares of an opposing character to activate. So, like, you can only be given close combat actions or only move actions, only range. All of those powers are within 7 squares. So that helps quite a bit. You were able before to shut down characters from your starting zone, and they could be across the whole map, like 20 squares away, which is it's not good. If they rush up on you, or you're able to be offensive and rush up on them and lock them down, okay, all right, congrats to you, you did it. But in this case, you have to play a little bit more. So I like that. Okay, I like it. They didn't change it too much. They just said the range. Okay, I'm following that. Now the mystical trap. Choose opposing character within 8 squares with the mystical keyword, and 1 other opposing character within 8 squares. So, there you go. Place a mystical trap marker. Okay, we're looking at that. All opposing characters must occupy. Oh, well, let's see here. When a character who occupies a mystical square with a special mystical trap marker takes damage from an attack, or all opposing characters occupy mystical trap markers, remove the mystical trap. So what that is, if it's a single, say if you're going against a one-man army and you mystical trap them, you can't, because all opposing characters are within the mystical trap, so they get removed. So that's one of those things right there. Or if the whole team is mystical trapped, then it goes away. So in that case, if you have like 2 characters, you could kill off one of your other characters to make it so that you're the only character, and then it goes away and you can't be mystical trapped. So that is that. Let's see, Doctor Strange. So I like all these things. I like all the changes here, and you can read them if you haven't saw them there. Doctor Strange, no changes, which is good. I didn't really think that needed to be changed. We do get a change to probability control, which we'll cover that. Scarlet Witch, this is good. It's good because at first it was really abusive. Now it's toned down a little bit, but it's still solid, but it's not as meta now. Once per turn, after attack roll has been determined, Scarlet Witch may give the attacker up to 3 hex tokens if the attacker is within range. A character may not be given hex magic tokens if they would have more than 3 tokens on their card. For each token she gives the attacker, reduce the attack total by 1. Opposing characters may be given free actions to remove a hex magic token and modify any friendly character's attack by 1 this turn. So before, you were able to just load up on the hex tokens, and they could only take one off, and you could put 3 on, which would literally just make it so that it just would be great. It was just like -3, -3, and they couldn't even get the benefits of the 3 hex tokens because they could only take one off per turn. So yeah, it was unfortunate. However, now you can put 3 hex tokens on someone right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And the good thing about this is you could actually give out more than 3 hex tokens within like a time frame. Like you could give someone 3 hex tokens and then another time give someone else 3 hex tokens, because it's actually 3 hex magic tokens on their card. So at any given time, that character can only have 3 hex tokens on their card. However, you know, on another attack, if someone still has like 2 hex tokens and another person attacks, you could give them 3 hex tokens. And, you know, so it's one of those kind of deals, which I like it. Still good. It still is good, but it's not as, like, you know, broken. So clarification here, opposing characters may be given a free action to remove a hex token and modify any friendly character's attack. So any character may be given the free action to remove the hex token from a character friendly to them and activate the power. So that's good. If you have a character that doesn't have any free actions and you want to let them use the free action so that the other character can use another free action, like you know, outwit or something, they're not wasting their free action to remove the hex token. You can let another friendly character that may not have a free action to use or doesn't have a free action, oh well, I'll give them the free action, then activate the power. That's good. I like that. So you see that it's kind of restricted, but it makes sense. Sinestro, Orange Battery, no changes. Probability control. Probability may only be used to roll on rolls utilizing D6s. Okay, so you can't re-roll D20s. Also, map effects granted by game effects granted by map effects can't be countered, ignored, or prevented from being used by any non-map effect. Basically, you can't, like, I know with the Orange Battery, people were able to take away improved movement in some maps, give you improved movement, like I believe the ocean depths there that we're looking here below, and that was something that was allowed. Now they're saying that you can't do that. Whatever the map is, those effects you can't counter, ignore them, or prevent them. So that's a win, I guess, for the maps. Taking a look here, and these are all water maps here. A lot of them give you improved movement, and that's what they're clarifying here. That's pretty much it, guys. You can take a look here. I'm not going to go too much into the maps, but what do you think about the new watch list? I'm happy with it. None of the figures got destroyed, and the ones that were really powerful, like Scarlet Witch and Faust, they were fixed, and I think they'll be a very interesting. Like, people will want to use them again and see how effective they are with the restrictions that have been in place. But I still think they're good, and I think they can still, I don't necessarily know exploited. However, I still think people can find ways to make these work. If you can get Faust within 7 squares of your opposing characters, hey, game is on. He can still do a lot of stuff. So, yeah, but now you can't just bunker in and just start rolling Faust. You have to get Faust in the action. So I'd like to see how that works. And then Scarlet Witch, I never got a chance to use her. However, I think I would want to try her out. I think there's still some benefits here. Because if you can hex someone by 3 on a critical, like, alpha strike, that might be enough to win the game. That may be enough. And that's all that she can do that. However, a lot of, you know, in the past, it was just like consistently like, you're not going to hit me because I can just -3, -3, -3. However, now, you know, you're limited. You can't stack the tokens. It's 3 for a character until they start taking them off, and you can add another one back on, or another 2 of, you know, however. But it's interesting. I like that. I like the watch list here. The changes were good by me. Solid piece here. Not the It's not the greatest, but it's all right. Madam Hydra, I like her. I like her quite a bit. All right, guys. This is Ryan signing out for Glass Cabinet Films. Take a look at what we're doing. We got, a bunch of Heroclix coming out. Nick Fury and the Shield, Agents of Shield, coming out in about a couple weeks. So that I'm excited about that. You can pre-order on my site. You can, take a look, see what's going on. If you're following what I'm doing here, we have Loot Fair. We've started beta on Loot Fair, getting people to list products and just try to work through that. So you're gonna see some of that stuff. So bear with me on that. But I think it's gonna be really cool. Collectible marketplace where you can trade stuff. We're focusing on Heroclix getting out of the gate, but all kinds of games are on board. Take a look at it. You'll see what I'm talking about. And we are working on a game called Zombag. Kind of an interesting name. However, if you know about the game, all the tokens, if you look on Facebook, all of these projects have their own Facebook. I posted a picture of the tokens, and all of these tokens are going to be placed in a bag, and you pull out tokens, and based on those, that's kind of what your force is, and you're basically fighting zombies and or fighting other people. We will have a video of how to play that game shortly. Once we finalize everything, we want to kind of give you guys the best product before we release any kind of more details. However, we're going to kickstart that game. Not sure exactly when we are going to kickstart that game. And I think you guys will like it. I know you guys are big into Heroclix, which I love absolutely. But, we all like games, and zombies are fun. So we were just playing around with some ideas, possibly creating some games. And that was one of the games that we came about doing. And we enjoy it. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well. We will be doing making demos for that and sending them out to people that are interested. Haven't fully figured out what the idea on that is, exactly how we're going to do that. If we're going to we're trying to do a print and play where you guys can print it off the website, off a website, and download it, and then cut out the pieces yourself. However, it's a little bit more taxing, and you might not get the best possible product that way. So we're looking at possibly doing some printing it out ourselves on some nice material, or not full grade, but nicer material than just a sheet of paper, and sending that out. Not sure if we can if you order something, we'll just slide it in there, or if we'll do it like really cheap and just pay for shipping, like $2 to ship it to you guys, and you guys get pretty much a little game there. So that's something in the future. We'll probably ask you guys what you guys think, but I know it's early on in the process there, and it's not Heroclix related, so it's just you guys want to know what's going on. That is what's going on. All right, guys, thanks for watching this preview video for 2 Heroclix and the watch list. Take it easy, guys. Please subscribe if you like what you see, and have a good day.